Our lead this hour coming from Jerry's World. The Cowboys playing a roadie against the Washington Commanders in the final game for those two teams. Washington going home. It was a clunker for the Cowboys. Dallas was smoked by the Commandos, losing by 20 points in a game where if they had won and Philadelphia had lost and this, that, and the other thing had happened, the Cowboys would have ended up winning the NFC East. That did not happen. Sam Howell, the quarterback making his first start, not highly thought of, and he wasn't particularly great in his maiden voyage in the NFL, but he was better by leaps and bounds than that turd Dak Prescott. Not even close. The better story in the losing locker room, the Cowboys had 10 first downs. 10 first downs in the game. They had as many punts as they did first downs. 10 punts, 10 first downs, 182 yards of offense for the 12-5 Cowboys. As Mike McCarthy did not rest the entire roster. Of course, it's hard to do that. It's impossible based on the way rosters are constructed in the NFL. But the key players were out there, and Dallas ends up losing in a game that was not even close. It was a boat race situation. Washington led 13-0 and did not look back as they end up winning 26-6, the final. So let us discuss the better story in the losing locker room. Do the Cowboys have a Dak Prescott problem? Well, yes, based on what we saw. Let's not pretend that's not going on right now. The big bugaboo for Dak popping up yet again, turning the football over at a rapid rate. I've got hefty, gloomy, and the devil's sea. And we will put all of these things together and we'll turn on the oven for about 15 minutes. We'll see what happens. All right. So to kick off here, Dak Prescott has gone backwards. Now, we were not big Dak Prescott fans on this show anyway. But this is the kind of a game that is a reminder that things are certainly not right for Dak. Because in years past, like, we were critical of Dak Prescott, and this is the kind of game where he would flex in. End of season, other team playing out the string, the stat bandito would show up, and that did not happen in this game at all. In fact, Prescott did a nosedive against a pretty middling Commanders defense. He was not only a quarterback, he was terrible in this game. Averaged 3.5 yards per attempt and completed less than 38%. Had 21 incompletions. At one point, there were 8 straight incomplete passes for Dak Prescott. And the Cowboy passer rating was 45.8. Keep in mind that 95 plus is pretty good. 100 plus is solid. And he was below 50 in this particular game. And Dak finished the regular season in a hefty trash bag is what he did. And the evidence, the last 7 games. Now, remember, Dak missed a bunch of games, played in the opener against Tampa Bay, and then missed a few games. He came back, but the last 7 games Dak played in, he averaged 7.1 yards per attempt, which is a baseline number. 7 is average. He was barely above average in that category. 15 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, and 4 fumbles. And the excuse is, it's not his fault. It's this guy's fault, that guy's fault. It's Mike McCarthy's fault. Ball security, though. Now, were all of those interceptions tip passes? No. Were some of them tip passes? Yes. But were those bad passes that were tipped because the receiver was trying to compensate to get them? Some of that is actually true. All right, furthermore, what's the general mood of the Cowboys? They sit there at 12-5. Cowboys open up the playoffs as they will be taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That is on the following Monday, a week from today. Wild Card Weekend will wrap up on a Monday night made-for-TV matchup. So what's the mood of the Cowboys here? So the mood is gloomy. That's the mood. insecurity, I would say, would be another way to describe what's going on with the Cowboys. Skepticism. You got to have skepticism. The Cowboys lost last year to Jimmy Garoppolo and the 49ers in a game where Dak Prescott was terrible for 75% of that game. And then you remember there was that comeback attempt where they went gangbusters in the fourth quarter, and then they ran out of time, Dak famously sliding down as the clock ran out. But you've got to have unease when you look at the Cowboys. There's a lack of faith, and rightfully so. Jerry Jones can whisper sweet nothings into the media, but this team yet again looks hollow. The Cowboys look hollow. They should take care of Tom Brady. Tom Brady and the Buccaneers are not a good team. They're not. Yeah, they're a middling team that made the playoffs because they're in a crappy division. They sucked a little less than the other terrible teams in their division. Congratulations. Whoop-de-damn-do. But Tampa's no good. The Cowboys should win that game. But the way the Cowboys are playing right now, the mood around the Cowboys, my God, Dallas has hit a snag as the season has gone on. The record is still gaudy, but regardless of that, regardless of the nice record, there are hairline cracks. You can see them in the foundation if you look closely enough. Trevon Diggs and Micah Parsons are living on an island, the island life, if you will. They're living the island life because nobody else on defense has consistently made plays other than Trevon Diggs and Micah Parsons. And no matter who they put on the other side of Trevon Diggs, whoever that defensive back is gets burn, baby, burn, is the story there. So you got 11 guys on defense, but really 2 and then 9 stiffs. And Dak Prescott, it's not his fault, the Cowboy apologists say, but yet Dak leading the NFL in mistakes, and so it is a dicey situation.